Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you remember the 5 essential sublanguages in SQL. If not, then please check out the video we have provided you with the link in the description box. So, in order to summarize, 5 sublanguages we have studied till now are DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, and DQL. In this video, we are going to start with the first language, that is DDL, and its first command, that is create. Create is used in order to create database objects. What are these database objects? These can be tables, views, indexes, or the database itself. So let's start with the first command, that is create. Right now I'm in my workbench, that is my SQL workbench, and let's connect with our local instance. Here we can see we are having a query pane wherein we will write our queries. In this schema section, we will get to know about our schemas, that is the database objects. In this information section, we will get the metadata about our objects. In the output pane, we will get to know about the execution log, that is, whether our queries are working or not. So let's start with our first section, that is comments in SQL. Comments are nothing but information about the queries which are not supposed to be executed. So we have two types of comments in MySQL. We have single line comment wherein we can write a comment in one single line and it is used with a double dashed symbol. Next we have multi-line comment wherein we can use a slash symbol and a star symbol. Again, we can write the data which need to be commented out and again enclosing it with the star symbol and the slash symbol. That's it for the comments. Let's start with the first command of our data definition language. So DDL stands for data definition language. In this we have the first command, that is create. It is used to create database objects as discussed earlier. So the basic syntax for create is create database object and object name. You can see I have used database object and create in capital letters, whereas the object name in small letters. So this is a very professional norm which needs to be followed, and we are going to follow this syntax every time we create a database object. In order to improve this query more and optimize way, we have create database objects if not exists. This will prevent errors if the object is already been created. So let's start with the example. Suppose I want to create a database. We will use the command like create database and database 1, that is the database object's name. Now I want to create a table. So what would my command look like? This is how my command will look like. It will go like create table, table name, and the number of columns I need in my table. Along with the column names, I want to provide the data type as well. We have already studied our data types. So let's start with the first command and create our database. I am given a question here to create a database. Let's create one. Make sure you write the create in uppercase. Create database, and here my database name is my store. Is this it? Is this the end of the query? No, we have to terminate the query as well. So in order to terminate the query, we use semicolon. So now we need to execute this query. How can we execute this query? Just put your cursor at the end of the query and use the second lightning symbol. It states that execute the statement under the keyboard cursor. Let's execute it. You can see in the output pane that the database my store has been created. But is it visible in my schema section? No. So in order to see that, we will just refresh it and you can see my store database has been created. So let's see how can I check the databases. Now I will use a very basic command, that is show databases. Again, show databases should be in capital letters. We will just terminate the query and execute it. You can see all the databases which are provided. Here is our recently created database, that is my store. Now I'll just close this result. Let's move on to create a table. Using my store database, we need to create a table customers with columns such as customer ID, customer name and email. I mentioned here using. So how am I going to tell MySQL that I need to use my store database? So in order to do that, we will use a very basic command, that is use my store. Let's execute it. You can see we are right now in our my store database and it is in bold letters, which indicates you are inside this database. Now you can use this database. Okay, let's create our table. So the command would look like create. Can anyone guide me in the comments as well? Create table. Now we will give the name of a customers table, that is customers, and parenthesis along with the semicolon. Inside this, we are now going to provide our column names. So what are the column names here? We have customer ID, then we have the next column, customer name, then the last column we have is email. Is that it? No. If we execute this query, we might get an error since we have not provided the data types. You can see it's not in the valid position, expecting some or the other data type. So we are going to use int data type for the customer ID since it's a whole number, and we are going to provide a constraint, that is primary key, which will help us to have no null value and it will also make sure it's unique. Now we will provide varchar as the data type for customer name and we will give a length of 255 characters since it's the limit of varchar. Next we will give email. Email is also a character or a string data type, right? So we will provide the same varchar data type here. Now our query looks perfect. Let's try to execute it. Now you can see the create table. Now I want to see whether my table has been created or not. Let's check inside our My Store database. I can't see any tables here. So we need to refresh this again. Now you can see we get inside the tables section the customers, and we also have the columns such as customer name, customer ID and email. I want to see the table in the output section as well, that is the results section. So I will just say show tables and a semicolon. Let's try to execute this query. Now you can see the customers table here as well. That's it for today. You have learned how to create table and create database. Hope you enjoyed this lecture, and make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel and share as much as possible. I'll see you in the next one.